what I'm going to say. And I want to talk about how appearances are constantly deceiving us. Let me give you just a few examples that we take completely for granted, but they happen every day. They're part of life. The earth appears to be flat, but it isn't. I'm not up here to advocate the flat earth theory, all right? The earth appears to be flat, but it isn't. It appears to be stationary, but it's not. You think you're sitting right now and you're spinning and flinging through space. The sun appears to rise every morning in the east, but it really doesn't. The sky appears blue, but it's really not. On the other side of the sky is the inky blackness of outer space. What you see in the sky and why it changes to oranges and reds has all to do with the angle of the light and the refraction off the atmosphere and the things our eye perceives on the spectrum of light that is filtered out and not filtered out. It's not really blue. But every day we wake up and look at a blue sky. The only difference, maybe not the only difference, but one of the primary differences between illusion and reality is time and distance. If you had enough time and enough distance, you could get the right perspective, because perspective is a function of time and distance. Time, the passage of time, is one kind of distance. Geographical distance is another. Distance of emotion, distance of understanding. So what separates the blue sky from the black reality of outer space is distance from here to there to see it with a different perspective. Proverb 23 says, financial success is an illusion. Proverbs 31 says, physical beauty is an illusion. Psalm 33 says, strength is an illusion. So there's these things that we define our reality by. I wake up in the morning under a blue sky. I sit down and have a cup of coffee, think I'm sitting still. I'm actually hurling through space. It's not a blue sky. And the things I'm striving for, financial success, beauty, trying to lose weight, go to the gym, work out. No, I don't do that. But the things I might strive for to think, that's what I need, that's what I want, that's what would define happiness or success or possibility in my life. That's not actually what's really real. But sometimes it takes time and distance to get the right perspective to understand those things. In the same way that we can look at so many good and beautiful things and feel defined by that reality or striving for that reality because we don't have the right perspective of time and distance, in the same way, we can let our most desperate failures and lonely times define us because we are consumed with what they appear to be in the moment of the crisis and the pain. We can be going through a divorce. Our child can be going through an illness. We could have just crashed our car and not have the money to pay the bills because the car wasn't worth comp and collision and all we had was liability, and now we don't have a vehicle and we can't get to our job, and all these things. And in the moment, and those are circumstantial things. There can be far deeper, more painful, divorce isn't circumstantial, I'm not saying that, but there can be far more existential level crises. The young person who cuts themselves because they don't know how to feel without the pain, and all they know is pain. And they fight suicide every day because they're so ashamed of something in their past that anchors them to the moment of pain, and they have no time or distance to see it otherwise. Pain, loneliness, fear, and rejection, these kind of dark times that are so difficult. I want to tell you tonight, if in any way, shape, or form you know what I'm talking about, and you say, he's talking right to me already, I want to tell you, because when something like that comes up and we talk about secret shame, we talk about the debilitating pain that we haven't ever been able to get past and that we can't escape and that keeps us rooted in the past. We can't be in the present and we have no hope for the future. There is a door of hope and you're in good company. The beauty of Scripture is God is so real. He's not afraid of telling the hard truths. He's not afraid of the human condition. He knows it far better than us. He understands it far better than us. He paid the price for that condition, and He paid it in full. But it's not just what Jesus did. It's the story told all throughout Scripture. In glorious moments and painful moments, not only David's failure, but we see when God encounters Abraham. He does it in Genesis 15. He comes to him during the day. He spends all day talking to him, but he waits until it's night. He waits until the lights are starting to go out. There is none of that visibility. The hope of day, if you will, where God makes His covenant with Abraham is in the night season. It's in the darkness. When Jacob wrestled with an angel, he did it in darkness. And he woke up limping for the rest of his life. Elijah retreated to a dark cave in his hour of crisis. Joseph and Daniel were cast into dark pits and prisons. David hid in a cave to avoid being caught and killed by the king he was serving, but anointed to replace. All of these aren't just facts in a story, they're narratives of a process. They're evidence of the way God does it. If we'll look at the repetition and the pattern, we can see He's trying to tell us something if we connect the dots. This is where God meets us in the darkness.